Hello, everyone, and welcome to GT Time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us, as always, is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones.
Yep.
Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
In the super seat this week, Michael Huber.
Greetings.
And making it all happen is Ian Hink. A little applause? Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah. Making it happen.
A
lot of prep for this episode. A lot of setup.
A lot of setup. We're here. We're feeling good.
Not really. Blair kind of set up most of the
Blair did a
cameras.
ton of work too. Matt Blair. A little applause for Matt Blair.
I fixed a few of the cameras though. I'm proud of that. These cameras are terrible.
All right. Well, I mean,
we're gonna call it out on the show.
Yeah, don't do that. Michael Huber, as the person in the super seat, we have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What is your most recent big mistake, and what did you learn from it?
I forgot about this, but I have one.
Okay.
It's my girlfriend's birthday on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I did not get her a birthday cake. It's a big mistake.
No, because hold on, no, because you got her a very nice present.
Yeah, I got her earrings, but she has simple tastes.
Day off of work.
She has very simple tastes. The end of the night came around. We had dinner. She's like, "Whoa, no cake, nothing."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So is the cake a tradition in your relationship, or?
Yeah, there have been multiple cakes throughout, but it's that weird zone where now we always buy each other sweets and baked goods and cakes on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So it just slid my mind. It wasn't a special thing. It has become normal
to buy cakes.
We just.
Wow.
We like cakes. Whole cakes.
When do you buy a whole cake?
We go down to, what is it? Sweet Rose Creamery. We buy whole strawberry cakes, chocolate cakes. That's how we do it.
How are you so thin?
How often?
Every couple weeks.
Okay.
Every couple weeks. Go down to Big Man Bakes downtown, get some cupcakes.
Oh my God.
And I did get her a cake, and I could tell she was.
Do you like brownies?
About it. Love
Do you like
brownies.
I love brownies.
I love sweets.
Did you
I
say
have a big sweet tooth.
Did you realize that I took the day off work for you?
She wasn't like angry or anything, but I could tell she was kind of bummed out.
Lost,
That's
like $20 of pay.
Yeah.
For her.
Wow. Wait, so what did you learn from the mistake?
Always get your girlfriend a birthday cake.
Okay.
It makes them feel special.
That's really nice.
It's a special thing. Yeah.
Even when you're just regularly getting cakes.
Yes.
So maybe like you should have gotten her like a double-decker cake.
Yeah. You gotta have the candle. The whole like candle ceremony part
important.
is critical.
Yep.
I robbed her of that.
No, you didn't rob her of that.
She's got to wait a whole nother year to make a wish, man.
I feel bad that all
of that wish.
Yeah, all of that falls onto Huber.
Yeah.
Anyone else could have gotten her a cake.
I'm
you know?
taking the load.
Yeah, Huber's taking a load. Let's talk about corrections from last week. We have a bunch. So begin corrections music. Legos are not a thing, but Lego bricks are. We should never say Legos.
Wrong.
Right.
No, Legos is fine. Everyone says Legos except for Lego.
No, now I think the common trend. I think it's a
I've heard people
movement,
say
man.
Legos since the last GT time.
No, they're Lego bricks.
You know what I want to do? I want to go down to Legoland. On location.
Yeah.
And interview multiple employees and see
Oh,
what happened.
The
that's
employees
the
got
worst
to know.
pool. Yeah, the employees will never say
wait,
Legos.
Wait. We're not allowed to call Legos Legos?
Right.
Now, this
This is the dumbest thing I have ever heard.
There were a lot of people who were very stern
You're
about
wrong.
Yeah.
Right into
They're
the camera.
Legos. It's a colloquial.
So
it's like Band-Aid is Band-Aid. It's Band-Aid.
It is a little like that, yeah.
I mean, no, but there's not just that, but it's like I was telling you, it's like saying the only way you can write Nintendo GameCube is in all caps with both words.
It's not like that. No,
but it's exactly like that. It's the same dumb thing.
It's
No.
just as
What about,
anal
like,
and
Kleenex?
stupid.
Similar to that. Everyone calls tissues.
No. That's a different thing.
Okay.
Like,
So when we were talking about Back to the Future last week, and you said, oh, they have made Back to the Future, and I made the reference, well, no, I was talking specifically about video games. There hasn't been a Back to the Future Lego video game. So even when I'm talking about video games, it's like, because it's Lego Lord of the Rings. It's not Lego bricks Lord of the Rings.
Right. So that's what that is. That's a Lego Lord of the Rings. If you have
So
a
we're
Lego
actually
set,
talking about, like, it's a Lego bricks set.
No, it's a Lego set. That's a Lego set.
But he's
that's
saying you
that's a
can't-
Lego mug. That's a Lego minifig.
So
Right.
Lego is the brand. Lego brick is the actual item and thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when do you ever say that in a sentence?
I've never heard anyone say that ever in my entire life.
No, yeah,
So I'm not
that's
saying-
correct.
Pick up your Lego bricks.
Yeah.
No, that's
I'm sick of stepping on them.
You'd say, hand me that red Lego brick. Or you'd say, hey, give me that bag of Legos.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been saying all our lives, but we got to be PC these days.
The colloquial
PC about Legos.
speech wins on this one. Sorry, correction.
Let's keep rolling through. Guitar Hero 2 actually had covers, and so did Guitar
true.
Hero Rocks the 80s.
Love the
Oh,
80s.
I
Just
forgot that game existed.
No way. My
Yeah.
favorite one.
Wow.
38 Special.
A lot of us were wearing our headphones backwards last week. I think we're all wearing them right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's making me notice that you have actually a different color on your left side, which is weird.
It's just so fancy. I was wondering why Brandon sounded so far away last week. It was just because I had these mixed up. A lot of
That's not how headphones work.
I know that's the joke. I tell jokes.
That's the joke.
The Lego theme that the Back to the Future and Ghostbusters sets are a part of is Lego Ideas, which was previously Lego Kuso, Cuusoo.
I couldn't tell you.
Kuuso.
No idea.
Kuso. Lego Creator is a completely separate theme. Kyle, don't say Lego Creator ever again. OMG, his name is Ryu. There was someone who was really upset about how we pronounce.
And you just mispronounced it.
Right.
Okay, so let me try one more time. Ryu.
Yeah. Do.
Sorry?
Do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like
Do you know how to pronounce? Do.
With
So-
a D?
But
With a-
but that's the thing is it's like it's not a easy it's not even an easy thing for an English speaker to say because it's like a different set of sounds.
Do.
So Ryu is fine.
Really? Can you just say it like
It's just
faster?
Kidoa.
without hitting
basically,
R?
I mean it's basically not
Ryu.
separate letters. It's like one letter. But
I've always
whatever.
wanted this, Blood, because I watched a lot of anime, and like it is the L's and the R's, they always sound like D's. So it's like Kidoa.
Yeah, I mean it's not really either one of those. Like it's between kind of like an R and a D. It's weird.
Want to know what's weird? On the Americans, they speak Russian, and they always call people by their full names.
Give me an
first
example of what
and
you mean by
last.
that.
Like they'll say the name Arkady Ivanovich, blah, blah, and then like do their sentence, and then he'll be like, Oleg so and so, full sentence.
Oh, you mean like Michael Huber, hand me that piece of paper?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Final correction. Last week we talked a lot about Takeda Takahashi of Mortal Kombat. Turns out his name is pronounced Takeda.
What about this did you not mess up?
So, well, here's the dumb thing. If we're going into Japanese pronunciations, they're doing it wrong, much like Raiden.
Yeah.
It's just like Mortal Kombat being wrong on purpose about how to pronounce Japanese names. I don't get that, but it's Takeda. It's like sake bombs. Like, dude, we gotta have some sake bombs. It's like that exact same mispronunciation, which is canon.
Pokemans.
This is the question that I have. I feel like didn't we talk about this on Nights or something where like someone is speaking without an accent and then they say the one word like
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
that's
on the
and
news,
that's
yeah.
why like the thing about Ryu is that like as an English-speaking person, as an American, I'm going to accept an American way of pronouncing that.
Yeah.
Because the same person that's going to make that argument about Ryu is going to say Guatemala. They're not going to say Guatemala. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going to like. And it's the Alex Trebek method. You know, it's like I'm going to be totally normal and then I'm going to say Nicaragua. You know, it's like
because
no.
it feels
just,
like to me it feels
Trebek.
disingenuous. It feels like I'm not making fun, but it feels strange.
A really good example of this is Big Hero 6. The character's name is Hero, but there's one character who insists, and it's the white girl with blonde hair, who insists on calling him Hito. She's like, Hito, what's wrong? And she's the only one who pronounces it that way. It's like, why this one?
Okay, but here's the irony of the whole thing.
Okay.
If you give your name to a Japanese person,
Yeah.
you usually have to pronounce it in a more Japanese manner.
Okay, so what is Daniel Bloodworth?
Is that? Oh gosh, mine's
Do it.
crazy.
You got to.
Daniele Beraruasu.
Awesome.
Work that out for us.
Daniele
Danielu
Buradowasu.
Buado Asu?
and then you're not going to tell that person, no way, you just mispronounced my name.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy like, oh, that's an interesting way that you pronounced my name. That is the Japanese version of you
Right,
pronouncing
like,
my name.
This is how
I will allow
we
it.
speak. This
Yeah.
is how they speak. Like,
Right.
This is how different people speak. Every different person's gonna say a thing a different way, a name.
That's a great way to end corrections music.
I speak like a freakazoid.
What does that mean?
Emphasis.
Oh, okay.
People think it's fake too. That's the best.
Dan-
We've all
yeah,
taken
dude.
on- it's not fake. We've all taken on his speech patterns.
Oh yeah, big time. Huber,
sorry.
just in my real life, I'm just like, I'm speaking like this.
Yeah, no, I went. He was playing.
Epic,
He was
bro.
playing Hearthstone at work the other day, and I went over. I'm like, "What class? What are you playing at? What's your deck?"
Goodbye.
So we had some
Warrior.
big news drop this morning. Square Enix announced that they're having an E3 press conference.
Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it.
Bandai Namco's next.
E3
No,
is
I mean
back.
it's like the old days. They used to all
What
have
about
them.
Nintendo?
Well,
They have
yeah,
a direct.
Because that's the crazy thing about this. Again, like Bethesda, it's gonna be live. They're gonna have a live LA downtown studio audience with their press conference.
Yes.
It's gonna be Tuesday, June 16th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We'll get into that later. I want to talk about right now what we expect to see at the Square Enix press conference.
Deus Ex
Right.
universe. Not only Mankind Divided,
Oh no.
but the other forms of media that
Oh,
will
God.
tie into it.
What are you talking about, man?
That's their whole big plan with this game.
It's gonna be like Quantum Break?
No. Like
There's definitely gonna be a mobile game.
Oh, okay.
mobile game, but graphic novels and books and just other forms of media that tie into the greater story in Mankind Divided.
You're right, because I mean that's an icon they have on their site is Deus Ex Universe.
Yeah.
So that's all that means. It's not like
Yeah.
a series of games. It's like
People originally thought it was going to be an MMO.
Yeah.
But they said no, not MMO,
Yeah,
just
that
a
would
bunch
be
of products.
Good. Why would you? No. I hope they never do a Deus Ex MMO. That'd be awful.
do we think Deus Ex can be that kind of series, like Assassin's Creed, like Halo, that can exist without beyond just one game?
Well, I've read one Deus Ex book, and it
Uh-huh.
was the one with the character from the mobile game The Fall. So it was before that. It was a really, really good book. It was like Tom Clancy status. So I think absolutely this franchise can exist in that kind of way. I just hope they don't start cranking out.
Like, what's the hook?
games.
Huber, what's the hook? Like Assassin's Creed, we got like assassins that have existed through history. Halo, we got giant rings and we got Spartans. What's the hook of Deus Ex?
Political and social espionage. Yeah.
And
That's
it's also
not a
the whole
hook.
human
Yeah,
augmentation.
and
thing, yeah.
augmentations.
I think
and
that's how you make it work, maybe.
like the book was very spy-like. It was seriously a Tom Clancy spy book. It was awesome. It's really good.
What's the book called?
Icarus Effect, I think it was.
Oh, they're always talking about Icarus.
Yeah.
Man, they love Icarus
Yeah.
in Deus Ex.
Yeah.
I gotta say it's a little weird because I never feel like it's all that significant. The Icarus connection. It's like you could just wipe that away and it wouldn't make a difference.
So I made a list of things I'm pretty sure are going to be there. So Deus Ex, I'm pretty sure is going to be there.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider, I'm feeling will probably almost definitely
Haven't
be
seen
there.
anything.
Dragon Quest Heroes, I'm feeling. I think
Awesome.
that'll probably be there.
Yeah, it's possible.
Heaven's Word, they'll be pushing
Yes.
heavy because that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks after that, or maybe 1 week.
1
even.
week.
Uh,
23rd.
Nice, Brandon.
23rd or 24th, I think.
Are you gonna be playing Heaven's Word? Sorry, side conversation. Are you gonna be into that?
Probably it's the first expansion that they've done, and they've been so good with updates. Like they've just incrementally added all of this really awesome stuff. And so like to take a really long time and then finally like, okay, now this is an expansion. Like this is a huge deal. And the end of the story is actually like causing some tremors, like as far as like what happened. And there's something really interesting about the expansion. You can't get a job. So they have new jobs in Heavensward. You can't get one of those jobs until you finish the story
Whoa.
of the main campaign.
So you have to kill Bahamut.
You got or whatever that end is.
Bahamut.
Spoilers.
Bahamut. But
Damiani's been trying to kill Bahamut for like a year. I know that's like part of the story. I feel
Coil,
like.
coils
Yeah.
and T10 progression.
Sorry.
Wait, they haven't
what-
actually done it?
What is this? Heaven's Word? Heaven's Word? Heaven's Sword?
Heaven's Ward.
Heaven's Ward.
Heaven's Ward?
Heavens, W-A-R-D. Heaven's Ward.
Yeah, okay.
But one word.
Yeah. So whether that's like a ward in a hospital, or like a
Right.
ward like warding off evil.
I think it's just like upward, heaven's word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is this-
Yeah,
yeah,
like
that's what I
homeward.
thought.
Like we're homeward bound. We're Heaven's
Yeah.
Word bound.
Is this a 14 thing? What
that
is this?
movie?
No,
Love
we're
it.
not. Go to the tangent.
Homeward Bound.
Let's go on that tangent for a moment.
Oh God.
Milo
love that
and
movie.
Otis.
When was the last time you saw Homeward
It's
Bound?
probably been 10 years at least.
Okay, we should watch it again.
We should. And the
Milo and
second
Otis,
one.
I'm not sure Milo and Otis would hold up.
I wonder.
Milo Notice
Yeah.
destroys Homeward
It's
Bound. I'm putting that
sad.
out right now.
Whoa.
Destroys
I'm
it.
gonna
I
watch
read
them
the,
both.
Dudley
the
Moore for
Homeward
life.
Bound book. too.
There's a Homeward-bound book?
Yeah, it's based on a book.
Oh.
What a
reading
weird
Is
book.
it better than Icarus Rising or whatever?
Honestly, it'd be really hard for me to read that book with like the animals talking and just like, and then this guy said, what's the name of the old
I can't
dog?
remember if the animals actually talked in the book.
Yeah, can you imagine them talking in the book?
I'm not sure that they did.
Okay.
Because Homeward-bound, the animals talk.
Yeah, Michael J.
Milo
Fox
Notice,
was
they
the-
don't, and it's just really sad.
It's
right?
narrated. It's narrated by a British man.
Dudley Moore.
Yeah. Cool movies.
I used to watch those all the time.
Here's what I would like to see. Like maybe
Wait,
we got a chance at these.
Can I interject really quick?
Absolutely.
What is going to be the marquee game in this press conference? Do you think? What is their end?
Let me
What
get
is
through
their
my list. Let me
finale?
get through my list because I think we might get to the finale.
Okay.
Okay, so the probablys. Like it could happen. Star Ocean 5 just announced in Japan. Like it could be here at this press conference. Hitman, they've been teasing for a long time. It's in development. They could show that off. Final Fantasy 15, I put it as a maybe because I don't know where that is in development.
They'll show something.
Okay, you're right. There could be a trailer for sure. I should almost put that in for sure. Bravely Second, not announced for US yet. I think this is probably the opportunity to do that.
Did Square actually publish it in the US? I thought Nintendo published it.
Nintendo published it in the US, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see if they actually pick that up now that it has a following.
Yeah. I mean, oh my gosh, can't wait for that. And then my dreams of these marquees. Prepare yourselves. Well, Kingdom Hearts 3 is a dream. And then the new Dragon Quest 11.
Don't even talk
I think
to
would
me.
be huge.
Don't even talk. to me.
Imagine ending on Dragon Quest 11.
You left one out.
I'd
What
weep.
would I leave out?
Not that it's major, but it's been teased, so it's probably going to have some kind of presence.
What?
Final Fantasy Type 1.
Oh yeah. Actually, I bet not yet. I bet it's not ready yet.
Dragon Quest 11, man, it's TGS.
That's
It's
TGS.
way too big in Japan and not
Yeah.
nearly big enough in America.
Here's the thing, Huber. They've never had a press conference that's just Square Enix
Yes, they have.
at E3.
Yes, they have.
No way.
Well,
Wait,
they haven't
was there?
televised it or anything, but they've had press conferences.
really?
Yeah, it's
With
in
a-
that little room that's
Yeah.
like between the halls. Yeah.
This will not be a little room between the
Little
halls, is what I'm
room
saying.
between
This
the
is going to
halls.
be an event, Bloodward.
This needs to be 3 hours.
It's going to
with
be
all these games.
live on YouTube, live on Twitch, 9 a.m. You can come into downtown LA if you're in the press, but if you're just a normal human being,
Which
you can get on Twitch and watch this live.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's.
This is the time to say
I
Dragon
think that's
Quest
the thing.
11.
That's where it's kind of coming full circle now because, yeah, it used to be that like everyone, like you're saying, everyone had their little press conferences, and then as press conferences became a bigger deal and everything got televised, then they just started kind of falling off.
Like
more.
Konami.
Yeah,
Just
like
like, oh, we can't afford
yeah,
this
Konami
anymore.
at like some point decided, okay, we totally embarrassed ourselves. We're not going to do this anymore. But
Activision used to have press conferences.
Activision had press conferences. Yeah.
Yeah.
Square Enix. I'm more excited for that than Sony.
Well, it's going to take
All
away
these
from
games you
Sony.
just had, this is hype.
The first glimpse of Kingdom Hearts 3 we got was at a Sony press conference. So you take away an announcement like that.
Yeah.
If they're going to release a gameplay, footage of Kingdom Hearts 3 or more.
Or 15 even at Sony.
yeah.
Could
But
have
see,
it.
but I think that's part of the reason is like they had so much attention put on them from that stuff being televised, and now like I don't know, do we know if like Spike's even going to bother doing that? Like I don't know that anything will be. So it's all on Twitch.
I think
so
it
anyone
won't be
can-
on TV.
Yeah. Anyone can get that attention. They don't need to be on Sony's stage or Microsoft stage.
Unless Keeley's got something planned, something cooking.
Oh my God.
Probably not televised.
If you're a listener, you missed, as Huber was saying, that rubbing his hands together with the money motion.
Keeley, man, he could easily pull something out.
I don't-
Quick
I-
little
I don't
couple
know.
hour show.
I heard
TV
Keely's-
is not easy to pull out.
I heard Keely's having his own press conference. You hear about them?
Yeah, the Keeley conference? Absolutely.
The Keeleys.
What the thing I'm afraid of with this is that it'll be like, because Ubisoft has theirs,
Yeah.
and we sit through a bunch of Watch Dogs stuff,
Yeah.
and then Sony is a bunch of Watch Dogs stuff.
Reruns.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like different it's like, oh, here's the exclusive multiplayer announcement for this game that you just watched a half hour of stuff at the other press con. It's like ruins the other. It makes all the like reruns make all the conferences less interesting.
I think it's a fair point because, I mean, this is Tuesday. Monday will be Xbox and PlayStation 4's press conferences, Sony and Microsoft.
And probably
EA.
But
UB
it's
and
now
EA.
2015. There are more games than there have ever been in the history of mankind. There's not going to be time for reruns, I believe.
Well, Assassin's Creed 3 did it really well, where they had the the forest area where you saw him going through and hunting people and running on branches and going through like making tracks in the snow. And then I think that was at Xbox, and then at Ubisoft they showed the boat sequence, which was way cooler. So it's like as long as you can section off.
Though. That's what I don't want.
Yeah.
I want if a game is in one conference, it should not be in any other conference. Give us different games in every conference, more exciting.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, let's
Yeah.
be realistic.
I wonder who's going
There's
to
only so many games to talk about.
We are being
2015.
realistic. Let's do
The
this.
forward progression of time denotes that there are more things now than there used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like. So if we're talking about
logical.
Deus Ex in particular, if we go back to that, I think that's a good spot for this press conference.
Absolutely.
Because it probably would slow down another press conference if they want to get into the universe stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
I wonder.
That's my call for the
I wonder
Sony
which-
wants that, though.
I wonder if
That's the
Sony
crazy
or
thing.
Microsoft, which one of them's going to outbid for Cyberpunk.
Tell me this. Outbid. What does that mean?
Oh, like who's willing to pay
Yeah.
more money to
Well,
get
I
it
don't
out
even
there?
think it's necessarily a money, but it's like, when is it going to be? Like the whole thing, like when is it going to be on? How much time they're going to have? All of that kind of thing.
Blood, CD Projekt Red does their own press conferences. Don't worry about it.
No, their press conferences are not worth watching.
I
most
love
of the
them.
time.
Yeah,
They put their good
when they
stuff.
announced Cyberpunk, that's where they did it.
But but that's all they showed us, like a piece of art. They
No, in that
showed a
sick
poster.
trailer. In that sick trailer.
But well, they did do the trailer. But I'm saying is for E3,
Yeah.
they still do. They did like Microsoft for Witcher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. So Microsoft had the highest bid on The Witcher in this case. So yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't think. Go ahead.
I picture a room and a CD Projekt Red guy and a Microsoft guy, Sony guy. How much? 100,000. 100,000.
Let me hear that. Sony, let me hear that myself.
And it's just two people bidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sony.
I was thinking about that because of the whole like Battlefront, how like Sony locked down Battlefront. I was just thinking about like how stressful that probably is on everybody's side. I can't imagine those dealings. We
I
should
know.
like,
all these Batman trailers too. All these trailers ending Sony.
yeah.
All these backdoor dealings. I don't want to think about it.
Those are back. Well, I mean, they're front door dealings. It's like huge money being passed around
Yeah.
just for that promotion. And
I just want to play your game.
Before we move on, I do want to talk about one last thing about the Square Enix press conference. It's the time they chose.
Yeah.
Tuesday at 9 a.m. is Nintendo time.
Showdown.
They took Nintendo's time slot.
And that's been Nintendo's time for like 15 years or something.
Right, Tuesday before the show floor opens, Nintendo traditionally does their thing. What are they going to do?
bumped.
Well, so that's my question. Do you think they're going to bump? Will they bump themselves, or will they
You
just
must choose.
live stream at the same time? Yeah. Will they make us choose which one live stream to watch?
I wonder how tough that is to change the time.
Oh, I'm sure that's like
you're planning everything,
Yeah.
but it's just like
Wow.
if you're doing a direct, who cares? It's like you push the play button later. Like how
I think why it matters is one, Twitter, because we're all tweeting about it live, but
Right.
Nintendo wants to go live before the show floor opens. So like now are they going to go early, like 6 a.m.?
maybe that's 7 because
Well,
it's just like an hour and a half maybe.
Would you say that's stupid, Brandon? Would you say it's stupid to go live at 7 a.m. Pacific
No,
time?
it's stupid to go at the same time that Square Enix is
No
going.
way. You
Okay.
gotta hold fast. If they move their time, they're gonna look weak. You gotta stick to your guns, Nintendo. 9 a.m. It's their time slot. They're not backing down.
I mean,
I'm curious what they'll actually do.
it's probably just like Square probably didn't like pick it to screw Nintendo. They were probably just like, yeah, you get this time slot because that's before the floor opens. It's probably just like a location-based logistical thing, or do you think it's a choice?
It's a coveted time slot. I mean, Nintendo doesn't own the time. Square is
Right.
probably like, before the show, get some hype.
Here's the thing. I honestly think that this could diminish the audience of the Nintendo press conference. I think there are a lot of people who, given the choice between the two, would say, oh, I'm going to watch the Square Enix one.
Yeah, well,
All
I
those
mean,
games
that's
you
the thing, though.
Yeah.
I don't know how they managed to avoid each other's time slots, but I don't think anyone wants to do a thing at the same time as somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, it always seems very organized. That like everyone's got time for people to go between conferences and stuff like that, and that probably doesn't apply to Nintendo because they're probably not going to do a big theater presentation, but they probably still don't want to like run into the same time slot as somebody else.
It almost feels like courtesy industry courtesy. Oh, they're going at this time. We'll go at this time.
Yeah.
Kind of, open communication.
Mm-hmm. Square Enix.
This is like a declaration of war.
It feels like that.
Well,
yeah.
I feel like Nintendo's like, no, we're not using that time slot, so whatever.
No, what do you mean we're not using that time slot, so whatever? That's
I mean,
their
they're
time
not
slot,
probably
man.
gonna do something. Maybe they'll do something on Friday. Maybe they'll do something on Sunday, like Bethesda. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they don't care about when the show floor opens, and they'll, or whether the journalists see it. So it's.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe they could do it like noon.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter too much. Well, no, it does matter, because if people are on the floor looking at a thing and taking pictures of it, Nintendo wants to be the first person to tell you about that. When Mario Maker leaked last year, they were so mad about it because someone went on the show floor and took a picture of the words Mario Maker. And then we all started having ideas of what that could possibly be. And then when we saw it, it was like, oh, this is way worse than I imagined. So they want to be controlling that message. They can't let people walk the floor before they get to tell us about it, And so I wonder if they'll do it on Monday. I wonder if we'll have the huge Monday of nonstop back-to-back press conferences, which I would just...
I'll take it.
I would love.
Yeah.
That'd be so good.
And as soon as we walk out of this room, we'll have the email with when it's.
They got some fire on their pants right now. Fire under their butts, I guess is the phrase. And so I'm sure, they're just like, oh, God. It's like, get on it. Start announcing this stuff. E3 is coming. I
think last year Microsoft going before Sony was, or it might have been 2 years ago, whenever the infamous Jack Tretton, that
was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The fact that Microsoft went first, and so Sony could hear everything that Microsoft was doing, and then that night be like, all the things that they said, we're not doing that. It's like, that was so key. So we won't see anything exactly like that this year, but it is interesting how when you do your press conference matters so much.
Absolutely. You're right. That was a huge part of that narrative. And it was price, too.
So it's kind of cool that Bethesda's we're starting the party. Like he likes to say, E3 starts right now.
Now it starts on Sunday.
Bethesda,
yeah, Bethesda on Sunday.
Hope you're not doing anything Sunday, Cal.
Oh, I'm always E3 Sunday. I think we're always doing E3 stuff regardless.
Yep.
Well, the funny thing about that is with Microsoft and Sony, it matters to hear each other's game plan.
Yeah.
With Nintendo and Square Enix and all that, they're not changing anything. It's just it's a vacuum.
Square Enix Amiibo.
Oh my gosh, it could happen.
I'd get a Jensen amiibo.
They do all the figures anyways.
I'm all over it.
They do all those figures anyways. All they have to do is put a chip on them and come up with a game.
That's not all they have.
I never even thought about that though. Actually, M-rated amiibo. That's a whole other topic.
But think about it,
because if
because
they'd ever do that.
Square Enix has no problem putting out garbage games on mobile.
True.
Where they mash up all the characters.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then they have Theater Rhythm as well, which is actually really good mashup. And then they started throwing in the Chrono Trigger and World Ends With You and Dragon Quest songs in the Theater Rhythm. So yeah, they could certainly be planning some kind of figurine thing as well.
That's a funny guess. That's a funny bet. I love that. But Blood, are you willing to put a bet on the line?
I mean,
Hitman
sure.
amiibo.
So you're saying Square Enix NFC announced during this press conference?
Yeah, because I already have some Square Enix figures.
Yeah,
so.
but none of them interact with your games.
Right. I'm not saying the game will be good or significant or worthwhile. I'm just saying that they'll find some way to do it.
Okay. Blood, if you're wrong, here's what has to happen. If there's no NFCs announced at the Square Enix press conference at E3, what you have to do is you have to Photoshop yourself onto the picture of Sephiroth stabbing Eris.
Eris.
Why not? Yeah, let's just Edu.
I guess
so yeah, you have to Photoshop yourself onto Sephiroth's face.
Nice.
What happens if you get it right?
If I get it right.
Yeah.
Kyle has to Photoshop on Edu's face.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's Sephiroth stabbing me? All right, deal. Okay, we'll lock that one in.
But
That's a
just
good
the
side
face.
bet.
Can we put that on the big screen too, during GT time? Can we,
Yeah.
put that
That'll be your intro.
Good.
Okay. Absolutely agreed. Let's move on to some more cool, good news. GameStop is trying out. They're not fully committed to this, but trying out in some select markets, selling retro games and consoles. Let me read about what this includes because it's pretty exciting.
Funkoland.
We're talking the NES. We're talking the SNES. We're talking the Sega Genesis. We're talking PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and Dreamcast. They're going to sell those games and consoles. Going to sell those games and consoles accessories, games. Over 500 new games. They're saying we're going to put those in our catalog. Is that exciting? Oh, I should say it's only in New York City and Birmingham, Alabama are the two select things. But that's over 250 stores that they're trying it out in. First of all, do you think this will be a success?
Yes.
Why?
Because there's a market for old games. I think going into a store, like, I'm really interested to see the price because it's going to be really hard to compete with Amazon and online. You're always going to find the lower price.
Yeah.
But I think there's something about going into a store and seeing these retro games in person that will make it succeed and just drive interest. You know, people walking in not interested at all and then seeing an old console there for, you know, if the price is fair, it all comes down to the price.
Sure.
If they see a Dreamcast with some games for, you know, $50, $100 for a ton of games, why not?
Brandon, do you think this will succeed?
I don't think it's gonna be huge because I have to approach this from a journalist perspective and like.
Please do.
The only reason I really appreciate game stores having retro stuff is when we're doing a countdown and it's like, oh god, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 for PS1, go get it, you know, and then somebody's gotta like run out and like, oh thank god they have it, you know, and like so. It's cool that, you know, they'll have this stuff, but like it's all about price and it's all about the library. You know, you could have a ton of, you know, retro games, but if they're all crappy retro games, then like I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should turn away like all NHL games.
Ouch.
Well, it's
glad
true.
Matt Blair's not still in the room.
Angry.
They can have two good ones, but if you like go to like a used game section, like most of the time it's just like there's a
Wayne
whole row
Gretzky
of
98,
NHL.
like 70 copies.
Yeah. That's
So if they're actually like promoting retro games, so like they have GameStop TV, which Andre Renee works on. So like they have a segment on that they talk about.
That's
if there's
cool,
like, you know, if in their commercials they talk about like this month we're celebrating this awesome retro game, come get it at GameStop. You know, so if they're actually like talking about stuff, but if it's just like some bargain bin somewhere that you gotta like sift through and try to find stuff, I just don't think that's going to be attractive.
Yeah, Blood, I want to talk about why now. I want to talk about, I wonder if this is like a reaction to our digital age and kids in college right now, kids in high school are feeling like, look at these cartridges, look how cool these are. Do you think this is kind of like vinyl where it is a novelty, but it can succeed and if it's just like, right, like vinyl succeeds, it's not huge, but because it's got this market cornered and it knows how to deliver to this market, it succeeds.
I think I just got an email about a vinyl for the Journey soundtrack coming out.
I saw that on Twitter. Yeah,
but yeah, I think that's part of it. I think that there's been a lot of, you know, there's obviously a lot of collectors out there that are like looking for all these crazy rare finds and that sort of thing. It's weird for me to think about GameStop stocking these things in retail stores because a large percentage of GameStops are tiny. They're super tiny stores that can't fit, you know, even the last few years worth of games in them. So it's strange to think about, okay, they're also going to have some stuff over here on the side for retro. Whereas online, like, that makes total sense.
Here's the weird thing, though, is I think that you would, if I'm a GameStop manager, I'm clearing out my Wii stuff and I'm putting it there. I'm clearing out the stuff that's not cool because I think retro games are about to become cool. Do you know that? Like vinyl, like I just have like a thick beard and a checkered shirt, and I'm just like, oh, cool, Super Nintendo games. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not coming in for a Wii game, but I'm like coming in for a Super Nintendo game. Absolutely, you're like, oh, Dreamcast, this looks legit.
But I wonder if they're gonna
buy that, you know?
I wonder if they're gonna sell things like adapters or like the Retron or that kind of, because it's like you can't just take an NES or an Atari and just like hook it up to a HDMI monitor, you know?
Good point, Blade. Absolutely. 100% that's a good point.
That's why Virtual Console is so convenient because they work on your HDTV well and Xbox Live, PSN. But
which is why it seems much less like, it seems more like, oh, we're just going to have just games. We're just going to have like some spot where like, yeah, that's where our used stuff is, as opposed to like a clear, effort into educating people about retro games and, like I said, into promoting games that are cool and to really making sure that every single store has like the best games.
Yeah, we talked about this in a very early episode of GT Time about how cool GameStop would be if it just had like a lounge. You know, like McDonald's
Which they totally have room for, right?
When they redesigned. Well, I think they do. I think you just have to make sacrifices.
Clear some of that Xbox 360 space. It's like the entire wall. Move on.
Yeah, I mean there are games there that just won't move.
Yeah,
and I think that honestly even the smallest of GameStops have space to set up like a couch and a TV, and I think that could like help it a bunch. I shouldn't share this story. I was at a GameStop recently.
Yes, you should.
I was looking for the new 3DS. It was actually really hard to find for a while. If it was in black, red, super easy to find. Like, do you want red? I'm like, no, it's a little too vibrant. So I was looking for a new 3DS. I finally found, it was in Arcadia, I think, where I finally found this GameStop, and it was like the two clerks were like two teenage girls who were really cool, and then there was this one guy who was on his lunch break who was totally creeping on him. And he was just like, clearly there not to buy games, but just like, yeah, I was just thinking about like Zelda and how cool it is. Yeah, so like, I'm on my lunch break. He was on his lunch break. He was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna be here for a while. And he was like frustrated at me for taking away their attention, even though I was buying something. Anyway, just give that guy a couch to sit on is all I'm asking.
And hook up some retro games. It'd be a great way to sample them. I had some stores by my house growing up that would, even stores around here sometimes they let you just play the old school games right there.
Wait, what do you mean around here?
Like
Gameplay.
Gameplay.
Absolutely. They got that.
They have the last time we were in there, they had Streets of Rage 2 just on a CRT, ready to go. Pick it up. It was on pause.
Yeah, I think GameStop could be cool if it does stuff like that. I think
One thing that I do wonder about though is like how much they're gonna deal in rarity type of things, right? It's like it's one thing, to have it like an NES, somebody just like shrink wrapped and put on a shelf. It's another thing. It's like, oh, we've got the NES like with the box and manual and that kind of.
And like Earthbound. I don't think they'll never sell Earthbound.
Yeah, it's like how are they even gonna handle that sort of thing?
But again, like GameStop is clearly talking to publishers because they're getting all of these weird exclusives and pre-order bonuses for all of their games and making all of these commercials promoting that stuff. So like, I'd be more interested in that if they did approach Sega and Nintendo and were like, "Hey, we're interested in selling retro games. What can we do? Like, is there some way we can bring back the Super Nintendo, and make it HDMI, compatible, or like bring back these consoles? Or would you be interested in making something that's super cheap? Like, if that was an initiative." But if we don't really know how it's going to roll out, it just smells like a bargain bin. It just smells like something where it's just like, just put that stuff there.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right. It's not a firm rollout. They're testing it.
Like, it seems like something that like when they did this initiative, it's not like, okay, now we got to go find all these retro games. Like, they're clearly in some warehouse somewhere, in Birmingham and New York. They're like, just open those up, rent a couple of U-Hauls, bring them all.
Funkoland had that stuff, and then GameStop bought those. So.
Yeah. GameStop probably has just warehouses, Indiana Jones warehouses full of sick games. And
there's a couple really great stores, like you were saying, in Los Angeles where you can get retro games. So that no matter what initiative they do, these stores are still going to be better. So if you're really, really hungry for those things, then...
But that's to the niche crowd. I mean...
But to me, that's the retro crowd. It's a niche thing.
But they're also counting on people going in, buying newer games, and then just seeing it. Like, those people don't go to a gameplay store hunting for retro games. I mean, the average gamer goes in and says, I'm here for a game on PS4, a game on Xbox One, whatever. Oh, what's this? Like, old school games. Some people have never even heard of Super Nintendo or see, like, well, one of the things was...
with gameplay, like, I don't know if they ever sold it, but it was sitting for the longest time was the GameCube keyboard for Phantasy Star Online.
Whoa. The one game that was compatible for it. Yeah. That thing is cool. It's a controller. It's a GameCube controller that's just stretched out incredibly with a regular old keyboard in the middle of it. Do you have one of those, Blood?
Nah.
Quick question.
Okay.
That could be a long topic. I already know Mr. Ian Hink's answer to this. Digital versus retail. I mean, a lot of these old retro games are available digital, but for me personally, something about having the hard copy, physical copy, just going into a store and browsing is half the fun.
No, 100%. I think when you go for like the physical, it's those people who like vinyl. Just like, there's just something about that crackle. It's just it's that person, it's that person, just something about that cartridge.
Actually, that reminds me of another issue that they might have to deal with, batteries.
Oh, yeah.
Do they crack those things open and put new batteries in them?
They need to, because like Zelda games will not save right now.
Well, Zelda games usually will, but the Pokemon, remember the Pokemon Silver of mine? They just like suck the battery dry because of the clock.
I know it well. Yeah, no, I mean, like there are Zelda games that won't save. That's like just happening.
Yeah.
Brandon's Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger, yeah.
Well, actually, we need to check that on a real thing
Yeah.
because the Retron wasn't actually pulling his save file. I had a bunch of games that, like when I put them into a Game Boy player, the save files were fine, but on the Retron, it looked like they were gone.
Oh,
I
weird.
got a Chrono Trigger save that's been haunting me my entire life.
Yeah. Funny story.
We're covering pronunciations a lot this week. Why are we saying chrono?
Chrono Trigger?
Yeah,
That's
chrono.
that's how
Chronos.
Brandon says it.
Chronological? You say
Also,
chronological?
Chronos.
I would say chronos.
I would be remiss if I didn't just say niche, because also
That debate now.
Huber says verse instead
Yeah.
of verses.
I say verse. I say bagel instead of bagel.
You say
That's
you say
crazy.
bagel on
So just
purpose.
bagel?
There's no reason to say
faster,
it like that.
easier. I
Bagel.
like the way it sounds. Just going with it.
He's just imitating
Uh,
something he heard.
He likes to sound.
I like
wrong,
niche.
that's fine.
I definitely like niche as opposed to niche.
Yeah, both are acceptable.
Did I say niche at one point during this
At least
conversation?
All
Ian
of you
admits
said
that.
niche.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I say niche. 'Cause
People
I'm
get an
pretentious.
attitude about that one.
Yeah, that's a very strange thing. I'd be remiss if I didn't say niche. What a funny sentence. We should move on. We've covered that well. Going on to Water Cooler Ranch this week. Basically, we've been blessed with free DLC in Mario Kart this week. With 200 cc's, that's free. And then just last week, with the Battlefront announcement, hey, and also after this game is released, you'll get free DLC featuring areas from the 7th Star Wars film.
To quickly interject, 200cc announcement made me go out and buy Mario Kart.
Did you honestly buy it
I bought it. Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I went out and bought it
Sweet.
that day?
like a couple days later.
That's crazy, Huber.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is awesome.
No, that's a great
It just got
intro
me
into this.
hyped.
So free DLC got you hyped enough to play this game that
Yeah.
is months old.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, one, I didn't have a Wii U when the game came out, so I missed the boat, and I was like, oh man, I want to play Mario Kart. It looks so fun. I played it at the office. It is so fun, and this made it relevant again. And it was something cool. It was something that I'm sure existing owners will go back to, and now I feel like when a game comes out and it months pass and you kind of go back to it, you miss it. No one's really talking about it. No one's having conversations about it. No one's playing it. Now I feel like, oh, I can come in the conversation again, have Mario Kart, kind of gave me a chance to get on the boat.
We just played it for a few hours last weekend.
Yeah.
I just had a crazy thought. How much does Mario Kart 8 cost?
60 still?
$60.
Yep.
60 bucks. So here's my thought. See what you think of that? Because everyone's assumption is that people I don't know, Mortal Kombat or whatever, they're charging money for these other things because the game costs too much. We need to make up money. What if Mario Kart 8, bear with me,
Okay.
was a $30 game and they charged you $60 already? So they're like, yeah, just give everything for free. So you already bought all the DLC because it's a $30 game.
Some conspiracy.
Here's why I don't think that's that crazy is that the budget of Mario Kart 8 is not
Right.
equal to the budget of
Exactly.
Mortal Kombat X.
So this DLC
How do you know
ain't
this?
free. You just
I don't
already
know
done
it.
bought the season pass.
The game looks beautiful.
The game does
It
look
looks
beautiful.
prettier
it looks,
than Mortal Kombat.
looks prettier than a lot of games on,
Well,
on
I think
8th gen consoles.
I think one thing that's kind of correct is that obviously they've covered their costs, and Huber buying the game covers their costs. And Nintendo, they've always been very stubborn about, like you were saying, it's a $60 game or $50 game or whatever it is. They've not believed in slashing prices as quickly as other companies like Ubisoft.
Well, and that's the other thing. Nintendo, love them or leave them, they've always been with hardware and stuff. They've always been very good at making things for less than it costs them, or
Oh, yeah.
charging money that they actually make money. Everyone's always saying oh, they're losing money on the PS3, but they make it up with software. Nintendo's never done that.
well,
to my knowledge.
Toad was cheap. Toad was $40.
Yeah.
Kirby was cheap. I think Yoshi's gonna not be $60. So they are doing stuff ahead of time. But you're right. Once it's out, they hate to slash
Right.
prices. They love that money
Oh
rolling
my
in.
gosh, yeah, Mario Galaxy? No
Yeah.
way. That was $50 for 7 years.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
that's the thing. They've talked about that. They've addressed that. It's it's figure out how much you think your game is worth, because most games, unless it's a sports game or something, but most games they're not going to be suddenly less of a game in 6 months or a year. So why is the only reason people are slashing prices is to keep that volume going.
Well, because those are $19 games to begin with. Let's face it.
Are you talking about Evolve again? What do you mean?
I'm talking about everything.
Oh, okay.
Is there a limit to how much GameStop can undercut a used copy? Like, you know, Mario Galaxy is holding it 50. GameStop gets a used copy. They say, yo, we're going to sell these Mario Galaxies for $30.
Yeah, they'll sell them for whatever they can get. Yeah.
Oh no, they'll sell it for 45, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and still, yeah.
In the
people
case
still
of
buy it.
Xenoblade, they started selling it for more than MSRP. They started going crazy with that, and you know that was a whole thing, of course. But yeah, there's no limit. There's absolutely no limit for what they can sell it used for.
Yeah.
They'll open a new copy and then say this has been used.
Yeah,
give
it's
us more.
so depressing.
That's why, also, that's why I think that their retro prices aren't going to be that good.
Right.
No, of
charge
course
you-
not. No,
yeah,
there's no
no,
way it's going to
they're
be
gonna
competitive
gouge you.
or.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to be the sell.
The nice part of it is you can buy it now, and then if it doesn't work, you can say, hey, this didn't work. And I think that's probably the best thing they could sell with their used games. Because you're right, they're not going to be cheap. Probably.
We already finished that conversation.
Yeah.
We're talking about free
Sorry,
DLC. We're talking about this new era of free DLC. Like, EA,
I'm not sure that it's new. but-
EA saying, hey, we're launching this game, and then the stuff from the new movie is going to be free.
Also-
that is new. That's huge.
They did that
Why are
in,
we not-
in Rogue Squadron.
Why are we not calling it free LC?
Okay, for the rest of this conversation, it will be free LC.
Free LC.
What do you mean they did that with Rogue Squadron?
They hit the Naboo fighter in the game,
That
and they
does
didn't
not
reveal
count.
this code until later.
Oh, that's
That's
funny.
a ship. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite cheat codes of all time. That's like one of my favorite video game secrets because it was, yeah, you're right. It was in there the whole time before anyone even saw what it looked like. That's really crazy. But yeah, Blood, they announced this game and then saying, hey, we're going to support this with free DLC. I think that's pretty
They did that with
Free LC.
Killzone,
Free LC, thank you.
Shadowfall. They've done with other things, yeah.
Sorry, Killzone Shadowfall?
Yeah. All the multiplayer maps. Everyone got those. Evolve, as bad as all the other stuff is, the maps go to everybody.
We could really make up all these great stories on GT Time without Blood. If he wasn't here, we could just say whatever we wanted to say. But it's just like every night he's just like, no, wrong.
I mean,
what?
Those are
That
those
game
are
that came out 4 years ago did that. It's
those
like,
are fair examples. I don't think they are as huge as this. I don't think they're as huge as. I mean, so Witcher is an interesting case because Witcher 2 did have a lot of free LC,
Yeah.
and Witcher 3 is coming out.
the
saying,
enhanced editions, though, that's kind of a...
Well, it wasn't,
That's a whole other topic.
Well, it wasn't just the enhanced edition, but yeah, that was a huge deal. That like they made these huge changes, added extra storylines and side quests and whole new areas to The Witcher 2 when they did the enhanced edition for when they were making the Xbox 360 version, and then the PC guys who had already bought the game, like it's just a patch.
Same with
They
Witcher
didn't have to
1.
buy a Game of the Year version or a Scholar of this First Sin version or anything like that. You know, they're just, here you go, here's the new stuff that we added to the game since you bought it.
Witcher 1 was a little different because it was like semi-broken on PC. You know, it wasn't optimized, and then later they fixed it, and for free, here you go, enhanced edition.
Well, you have to fix a.
It wasn't
broken
like
game.
broken, but they knew it could have been better, and they like redid some dialogue, and again added quests and storylines and stuff.
So here's my question. I'll pose this to you, Brandon. You're a video game publisher. You're there. This is costing you money to develop and to just put up on the store. Like, you know, the stores are charging you for this. How do you justify it? How do you say, oh, the goodwill is worth it?
well, yeah, it's that goodwill. You know, it's a franchise like Mortal Kombat can survive, you know, charging people for Goro. It's something that like we're pissed about now, but then, you know, 2 years down the road when a new Mortal Kombat's announced, like we're not going to remember, oh God, remember when they screwed us over back then? Like you're not going to remember that. You're going to remember that.
Yeah.
But like everybody, you know, always talks about EA being this giant, you know, juggernaut of just like, you know, microtransactions and games that are buggy and all this stuff. And it's just like, oh, I can't trust that EA. So I think it's worth it for them to invest in, we're going to give you this added thing. Like, you know, this game is coming out a month before Episode 7's coming out, and it makes sense to me that like the developers, you know, I imagine the guys at DICE are like, yeah, what's that Flaku? What's that new planet? And like, yeah, Jakku. It's like, yeah, what does that look like? Like, we're still designing. We'll get that to you later. You know, it's like I can imagine them going full force, being like, let's focus Battlefront on the old trilogy because we have all those assets. We know what that looks like. We can hire the voice actors now. We can just do it, and then we'll just wait to get that other information. And then they probably crossed a line where they were like, well, it's got to be DLC now because we gotta move it and make this game gold. And EA's like, we have to include Jakku because, you know, come Christmas and they've got to get this game. And it's like, oh, it doesn't have Episode 7 in it? Well, I just said Episode 7. It's awesome. I want to play these environments. And EA's like, that's got to be a part of this game. We don't want to restrict people from, you know, bringing in the Episode 7 content into this game because there's no Episode 7 game. That's it. Like, that Jakku thing, I mean, with the exception of what Disney Infinity is going to do, if they do Star Wars.
I think that's a huge fair point because, like, You know, Jedi Power Battles. You know, we played that. That was like a Star Wars game that was out at the time.
Right.
That game is dreadful. But
No, it's not.
it is a dreadful.
Parts of it are dreadful. It's dreadful in ways.
In many ways, that game is dreadful.
Kyle Bossman, get good.
Okay. I'd love to watch the speedrun of it. But anyway, like, I think that game sold really well just because, hey, this is a Star Wars game where I get to be a Jedi. Like, just buy, you know, regardless of the game's quality. And here it is. This is going to be a Battlefront game, the only Star Wars game where I get to, like, shoot guns. You know?
That was your Mace Windu game. It was
Right.
the only game available you could play as Mace Windu.
Yeah.
Other than maybe like some weird Game Boy Advance game or something that came out at the same time. But
Yeah.
I think with the way DLC has been going and the way that people are ready to burn developers and publishers at the stake for charging them and nickel and diming them, I think it makes sense to give you some free stuff. Like The Witcher, they're like, oh, here's some free hair, here's a couple free weapons, you know, look over here, look what we're giving you for free, and then we're going to charge you for the, you know, the 10-hour, the 20-hour story-driven DLC, and it just lessens the blow. It's coming out ahead of it. Everyone is good vibes, jolly, goodwill. They gave us all this stuff for free, so then when they get charged for the story DLC, you know, I'm way more eager to spend.
And I definitely think it's one of those things where it's like that old saying where for every insult you have to say 7 kind things to make up for it or whatever. I feel like PR in film and games and all that is sort of like that. Like, you do one Goro, and that does the damage of a bunch of things. You have to do a lot of nice things to get back.
You got to give
that's
like
true.
5 free characters now.
Yeah.
if that's true, I'm due about 362 nice things from you.
Oh,
I'm gonna start counting
it's
them.
over. Don't hold your breath.
Well, like Battlefront, they give Jakku
Yeah.
guaranteed this game is having paid DLC. I guarantee you're going to have to buy Kylo Ren, $5, whatever, down the line.
Yeah. But
But the
we'll be
vibes
cool
are
with
in
it.
place now. Everyone knows,
vibes.
oh, free DLC, you know, Battlefront, good.
I'm trying to remember. There was another example of something like that where like a movie was coming out and then they held on content and then I can't remember what it was.
And this is a dry spell for Nintendo because it's like we're waiting on what, you know, are we going to get Metroid? Are we going to get more Zelda footage? What are we getting at Nintendo at E3? And they're like holding off, you know, before they make all these big announcements. And so it's like perfect time for them to be, you know, make you excited about a game you already own. We'll give you this free stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, create headlines around a game that came out last year, right?
Yeah, you're right. This came
so-
out last year. Absolutely.
So it's
And I
smart.
don't
So-
feel like I missed the boat.
And he was in.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't this came out the year before last?
Mario Kart?
No, it came out last
No,
year.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
last year.
up for racing game this year.
2014.
2014.
No, we didn't. We didn't have a racing game this year.
Oh, well. It came out in 2014.
2014.
We can
Okay.
promise you that.
Okay, I'm trying to remember.
And I mean,
Precious music.
yeah, we talk about the price of good vibes. Like, it got Huber. Like, that's so impressive to me. That's really cool. Thank you, Huber. So let's move on to, well, you're the one who started this conversation. This week, this one kind of fits. Phoenix Rouge, thank you for the question. In 2 months, it's going to be E3. He
In 1 month, well, a month and a half.
he put in the dates, June 16th to 18th, just so we're all aware.
15th, baby. E3 starts on Monday. E3
Starts
starts
with
on
Bethesda.
Sunday.
Yeah, let's do it.
June 14th.
Since you guys probably signed NDA, I don't think any of us have yet.
wish.
I won't ask a question for
They're
this year's
coming.
E3, but it's a general question. As a video game fan, E3 is the best time of the year. But I wonder, as video game journalists, what do you prefer from E3? Is it being at the game conferences, playing demos on the show floor, making interviews with the developers, meeting other game journalists? Share what you like about actually being at the event. What are we most excited about for E3 here at this table?
I want to be there when something I care about passionately is announced.
So you want to be at a press conference?
Yeah, that's
Have you been at one before?
I don't think so.
PSX
No.
you were at? Does that count?
PSX, I was like looking through a curtain right there, yeah. But
Yeah.
I've never
What do you
been
mean you were looking through a curtain?
because we were doing
Yeah, we had
Bonus
other stuff
round.
to
bonus
do.
round right there.
Uh-huh.
So there was the press conference right there, and there was a giant curtain they were blocking off the show floor because they didn't want people going in yet until
So
the conference was over.
You were creeping on that
So
press
I was-
conference.
Yeah, so I was creeping while we were setting up back
The
here.
Final Fantasy VII moment was really funny too, because like several of us who overheard it, we were like, "Wait, is it happening?"
Oh,
we
so then you
ran
had
to
to
the
peek.
crack, and we were like, "Oh, never. Oh no."
You know what? I gotta say something really quick to that one guy, because I said Arcadia, so now like that really specifies like a certain number of GameStops. Hey man, like it's okay you were creeping. I'm sorry I called you a creep. You were just doing your thing.
Oh my
You're
God.
probably just. That's probably.
He's got
sorry,
guts, but
Kyle?
that is creeping. I mean, you look up in the dictionary, and that's what that is.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
like,
flirting.
Was he their age, at least?
I think so.
He was flirting.
If you're flirting with someone who is being paid to be somewhere, you're creeping.
Yeah, that's creepy. There's no
If
way
you're
to do
flirting with
it,
the
man.
bartender, you're creeping.
I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
there's no way to do it.
It's not fair for me to say that he was flirting, though. He was definitely leaning on the counter.
Was he buying anything?
He was not
Was he
buying
playing
anything.
anything?
No.
He was creeping.
He was.
That's a creeper. Also, May 29th, 2014, Mario Kart 8.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
There you go.
Ian,
Nice.
Ian bringing in the facts. That's cool.
Cool.
Wow, May 29th, almost a year ago.
Finally justifies his inclusion on GT Time.
Oh my gosh. No,
At long last.
I love Ian for this show. This is the best component.
Give it time.
Blood, what's your favorite part of E3? What do you like? What are you most excited about?
I haven't been in so many years.
Wait, what do you mean you haven't made it in so many years?
No, having been for so many
Oh,
years.
okay.
Yeah, I mean it's the announcements. It's that rush of the new stuff hitting. It was funny, like what Huber was saying though, because it's been so long since I've actually been at a press conference, because we cover so much of it remotely, and like we're here, we're watching the streams, we're just dragging to get everything up as quickly as we can. So it's like, yeah, actually being at a press conference has been a long time. Like maybe I'm not even sure if I've actually been at a press conference while I've been at GT.
What about this year? If you have the opportunity, will you take it?
I don't even know. Like
You won't.
Yeah.
Brandon says no.
You're not going to.
It's not. It's weird, because in a way it doesn't feel that worthwhile to be there, because you're sort of just wasting time. Like unless you're live blogging something, if you're doing that kind of work, but otherwise, what are you actually getting out of being there?
The rush.
Work-wise.
You get the rush.
adrenaline
The rush of waiting in line beforehand.
But also you get
the
the
rush of
FaceTime.
sitting down and waiting for 20 minutes for the show to start.
Like the reason like a Michael Pachter is there is for the FaceTime. You know what I mean? Like he's
And to see who's there.
Yeah.
And to talk to people in line and to know.
grease some palms.
grease some palms, Golden Globe
To
style.
speculate before, because that was one of the big. That's why we called Pachter on our E3 coverage last couple years.
Yeah.
Because it was like who's in the room. Like who's in those first 3-4 rows.
Yeah.
And if you can see a developer like uh-oh,
They're
like
about to make
this
an announcement.
developer's at Xbox.
Brandon, what's your favorite part of E3?
Trailers, without a doubt. Trailers, and I gotta give a shout out to the show, to the actual like walking around, to the fact that, man, I just like no one went to the show and did not take a picture of the giant green Xbox wall right next to the
Yes.
giant purple or the giant blue PlayStation wall. Like that cracks me up. The fact that like everybody's it's like the real world, or like Big Brother. It's like everybody's got to live in the same apartment for 4 days.
Yeah.
And so it's just cool to have everybody crammed. It's impossible to shoot anything because the reflection of every monitor is picking up some other game, and you can't interview anybody because it's just speakers everywhere. And it's fun. It's fun seeing setup. It's fun seeing who brings it. It's neat because the reason started GameTrailers.com. The reason I like GameTrailers, it's fun to see people get excited about games. It's fun to be around Huber when he gets hyped around about something. And so it's really interesting. Like every trailer I watch, it's like, oh, finally, you're making a trailer that's exciting. You're not just kind of phoning it in, or like, oh, well, we're just releasing this piece of announcement. It's like when the lights go down and like Square Enix presents. It's just great. It's just really fun.
Yeah.
They care for once, for like 1 week out of the whole year.
To hear people excited. Ian, do you have a favorite part?
Oh yeah, I love. The most fun I've ever had with E3, because normally I'm like cutting stuff, running around.
Yeah.
One year we were doing the live show, and I was live cutting magazines to throw into the live.
Hold on,
show.
explain what a magazine is.
So like in live production and like a news, there's the TD who's like switching. and
What is a TD?
technical director.
Okay.
And you have a thing. They're called magazines in news because you load them in like a magazine of ammo.
See, I did not know that. That's really cool. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like a pre-edited, like news magazine.
You toss to
Throw
it.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
And it has in film they use it too for like the new film reel or whatever. But anyway, my favorite thing is normally I have to be here doing stuff like that for like 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
Going around the floor with Elise terrorizing people for mandatory update
that was so good.
is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do like that. That's like getting able to do a show is obviously the most fun
It's
thing.
the best.
Yeah. Last year was really fun because of, we haven't been in front of the camera all that long, So last year was like one of the first years where like everywhere I go, like people are just stopping and saying hi. It was like, hey, how are you doing?
I'm gonna miss.
You don't have to be afraid of me.
I'm gonna miss the show.
The Spike Show?
The Spike Show.
I'm 100% not gonna miss it.
Yeah, I
was
got
a nightmare.
It's a mixed bag, man. Like it's exciting to be there. It's exciting, obviously to get the the GameTrailers brand out there and get people to recognize this. But man,
it's not exciting to wake up at 5 in the morning. And
Yeah.
I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before that like I remember sitting at the kitchen table in my house and looking at like work I had to do and like filling in all this information because it was like we're all internet people and like I had to learn all this television language and like I'll fill out all these forms about like the way all this needs to go and literally realizing like if I'm this tired and I have this much work to do, how is that going to happen? Like how am I?
What really bummed me out last
terrified.
year was like, hey Kyle, you get to do a segment on the show. You get to do like multiple segments, and I'm like, yes, thank you for putting me on TV. I'm so happy. But it's like, well, also you got to write the little ticker all day long, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, they took it so seriously. It's like, Kyle, that says Ori in the Bling Forest, and I'm like, I don't care. I just like, it's okay. I'm okay with that typo at this point. Like I'm so fed up with doing this, the tickers, the stupid tech behind it, and just like, hey, the ticker's been the same for a long time. We need new stories. They're like, there are none. There are none. I'm getting stressed.
Yeah,
again
but
just
when
thinking about
Tickers are awful.
Yeah.
When they would
Moral of the
announce
story.
when they would announce something, and I would run into where you are, and you're trying to work and do the ticker, and I would
Yeah.
just shake you really violently.
Yeah, here didn't help. I gotta
That's
be
not
honest.
helpful.
Didn't help.
What was the speaking of tech though, some stuff they had there was so cool. The thing that they do for live that we were throwing the magazines onto that you were kind of running. What was it? What was it called? The
EVS.
EVS. That thing is amazing. It's
Yeah,
like
it's cool.
A 70-hour DVR that's just running back there on like giant towers of hard drives, always recording so that anything it gets, the guy like with a 3-second lead time can just rewind time and play it.
So
live.
yeah, so I'd like
So
take
cool.
notes on like the Monday night, and then
conferences.
Tuesday morning the EVS operators would come in and like look at my notes and then log everything because it's still in the system. It
Yeah.
like was
Yeah.
it's recording the last 24 hours
all the time.
It'd be like,
Like-
we need a clip of Blood saying "Do you?" and like we would just have it. We'd have the
I
time
would
code
click-
and then be
yeah,
like
the
"Do
guy
you?"
would just
and then
go
like we'd be
back.
good. Yeah.
So cool.
What's super funny is that question ended other gaming journalists, and I wonder if anyone like has good because like that gives me so much anxiety just to like run into anyone who I have to speak to.
Well, also too, we go to events. Like I just,
Yeah.
I went to a couple events last week and checked
Right.
out some games and met people there. So like we get those opportunities throughout the year. It's not like
You
E3
guys-
is like finally we get to see these people.
You're so good at making friends. Bloodworth made friends at the Splatoon thing. Like I can't do it.
The trick is just to not know who anybody is.
That's the
like,
trick.
Yeah, if you don't know who you're talking to, that there's some big shot, you just talk to him like they're somebody, like your
Yeah.
friend. Yeah.
Well, I think the other trick too. Speaking of a Splatoon event, I mean, we were stuck in a car together. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna talk to them now for sure. You're
Yeah.
not gonna just drive silently for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, because there are definitely, I understand what you're saying. There are a lot of times where I'm in events and I'm working, and then like people are bringing around food. I'm like, go that way, I'm working, and all of that kind of thing. And like, I don't get by the time I get done with whatever I'm doing, then the room's cleared out because the guys are local and they just want to go home or whatever.
Wait, so who are these guys that you're pushing away? What do you mean? Oh, like our camera crew people?
No. Well, I was pushing away the people with the hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying there's like also like all the other journalists, like a lot of.
Zero respect for
I'm
the
from
servers.
GameTrailers. Excuse me with your
I am
orders.
Daniel Bloodworth, by God. Do not offer me shellfish.
But I mean, but I'm just saying, it's like a lot of those events are in San Francisco, and a lot of the other outlets are up there, and they live there, and all of that.
Yeah.
So their motivation is to get in, get what they need, go write it up, or go home, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm stuck there until it's time to catch a plane. So I'm just keep at it, play as long as I can, take advantage of it, and then by the time I'm done, like half the people are gone at least.
No friends to be made. No good times to be had. You know
Forever
what?
alone.
Before we wrap up that question, I really love that question. I think another one of my favorite parts, and probably the part I'm most excited about this year, is the nighttime. When we've all been at E3, we've all been here. We all get together and we're all in one spot, and we like live stream our opinions and we talk about stuff.
And there's
like,
food.
And there's food. Just being in this office, that's probably my favorite part. I freaking love that.
Hype.
Hype.
Camaraderie.
It is
Yeah, camaraderie.
pure hype.
Yeah. So thank you for that question. And that
Excellent
is-
question. Yeah, thank you.
But now it's time to get serious. We got to talk about bets. Here's our bet this week. I've been
This
playing.
looks like it was like Sesame Street in
Jeopardy.
1970 or
Oh,
something.
Jeopardy kind of.
Oh, Jeopardy. Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
So if you're a listener,
I'll take time for bets for 800.
Does Jeopardy have a gradient? Or is it solid blue?
Solid blue.
Solid
Yeah.
if you're a listener, you know I've been working very hard on these slides.
Really?
Is there a little purple on top? Is that purplish down the blue?
Working very hard, huh?
You know, I put so much effort and blood, sweat, and tears into these, and then they just get criticized every single week.
Immediate criticism. The second it goes up.
I've been playing the Mii games. I've been playing the cool new Street Pass Mii games. I freaking love these. I'm just a tool sometimes. My favorite of them is Ultimate Angler. This is the fishing one. Developed by Prope Limited, which was started by former Sonic team member Yuji Naka. How was that, Blood?
Oh, that when you actually got to it, yeah, that's fine.
Oh my gosh. Prope Limited currently has a tragic 413 followers on Twitter, which really bums me out. How many will there be at this point next week? How many Twitter followers will Prope Limited at Prope_LTD have on Twitter at this point next week? Michael Huber, you will be the first to reveal your bet.
Whoa.
Well, you got to say it out loud. There are people who listen to this.
489. That is my final answer.
I didn't think about all of the people watching the show.
Oh,
they
you
can
gotta-
literally
you gotta
just
factor
pick
that
who
in.
they want to win, like the day, like next
Stack the deck.
Stack
next
the
Thursday.
deck.
They're gonna be like, oh, what was last week's bet? Oh, okay,
Damn
yeah.
it.
What did Huber bet? Oh, it's 10 short. Oh, there's the
gotta
text,
factor that in.
text their GT friends like, I want Bloodworth to win again.
Text their GT friends?
Come on, Super C.
or like in the chat when we're on Twitch, just
I wonder if anyone will
There's a community. There
unfollow.
absolutely is, yeah.
yeah,
it
no,
gets too hot,
seriously,
yeah.
they'll like
Yeah.
follow it up now, and then
Yeah.
depending on how many unfollow, so they bring the number back down, and then
If you want to game this bet, I have no problem with that. But think of poor Prope. You know what I
poor
mean?
Prope, you're the one that's like gaming their followers.
You're right.
You're manipulating their followers.
Prope, I just want to say I freaking love your weird little Street Pass fishing game. I think it's cool. Sorry that I made you the subject of this bet and pointed out that you only have 413. But Blood, what is your bet?
Mine's 435.
Well, look how, for listeners, Blood wrote it really cool. It looks
Yeah.
like a Street Fighter logo.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really cool.
Well, I wrote the wrong number at first.
Okay.
Because I forgot, I misremembered it.
All right.
And then I had it right over.
They're going to get 16 followers. Did I do that math right?
Yeah. It could happen, man.
Or 20?
Well,
That's
way more.
almost as many people as
22?
watch this show.
22.
Oh, my goodness.
They're going to get
Okay.
22 followers.
We're really roasting me this week. Brandon
Yep.
Jones, what's your bet?
I couldn't help myself. Yeah, 420.
Oh, my God.
7 followers.
All right.
It's a family
Yeah,
show.
well, they only have 400 until now. It's like I just don't. Yeah.
Here's why I'm furious about that, Brandon.
Yeah.
My bet is 421.
Yeah.
So you get the low bet.
That's right.
Let me lock that. Oh God, stop
Blood
that.
wins.
Let me lock that in.
Blood wins.
Because he's got
wins.
because he's got the medium one.
435 to 4.
Yeah, that's a good bet. Yeah, that's gonna turn out to be good.
Yeah.
I got that 421. We'll see. Don't,
All right, stack the
Here's
deck,
the thing.
everyone.
No, 'cause
stack the deck.
You know that This American Life about like the stupid improv everywheres where there was this band, a small band, and they're like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if 1,000 of us pretended to really love this band for one night?
Oh, yeah.
And we learned their song, and then we all showed up, and that band feels really good for one night. And then it was talking about that band afterward and how miserable they felt, and they just felt humiliated. So don't just follow Prope just for the sake of the bet and then unfollow them. Don't do that.
Continue to follow.
Continue to follow. They're working on games.
Well,
get
but I
Angler
think even
2.
getting to 489 is not necessarily going to like explode your mind
Yeah,
like it
like-
did that band. That was a huge deal. Like playing to no one and then having like a full venue of people screaming is not the equivalent to 40 followers.
We
on
got
Twitter.
20 new followers. I feel like that's the extent of the GT Time powers. Maybe we can get 20 extra followers to
Thank
the Twitter
you,
account.
Saint Bossman.
Okay, so then let's talk about last week's bet. We're gonna need Judge Ian on this one. Ian, you are definitely
boy.
needed here.
Hi.
Here's how the bet was described last week. Assassin's Creed Chronicles China comes out on Tuesday. I'm going to look at the top 8 most recent reviews on GameRankings.com. How many times will I see the word franchise? Here's the
Knew
tricky
you were gonna
thing.
say it like that.
Ian, you may have noticed I didn't mention a console in that bet.
True.
So first things first, you have to determine whether we're talking about the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One reviews of this game.
Oh, because they'd be on different pages.
Yeah.
Ah.
PC did not get enough reviews to use this bet.
Okay.
It only had 3. So it's up to you to determine whether we're using PlayStation 4 or Xbox One.
I mean, really, I would say take the 8 most recent from both, but I assume you didn't do that.
That makes it
ahead
very
of time.
tricky, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
PlayStation?
Okay. We have another question for you, another deliberation. This one's really tricky. So it's under the more info part of the review. It's the word franchise appears between platforms available and ESRB rating.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like a widget on the page. It's like a standard part of
It's
their.
part of the.
Yeah.
It's part of
the format.
site.
It's
Yeah.
part of the site, but I mean, it's talking about the review. That's why it's tricky.
But
So
the person who wrote the review didn't write that word?
I'm positive the person did.
Well, no, that's probably just a form field that's filled out by interns on a database or something.
If it's part of Metascore or whatever, then it doesn't count. If
It's
the
part. It's on
person
their
who-
Site. It's not. I didn't like click on it on Metacritic. You know what I mean? I clicked
Metacritic.
on their own site. It's on GameSpot. They have this
Oh.
extra part of their review.
So you went to every. Oh, so this is just a one.
Just on one of them. Yeah.
It's just a box on the side that's like, this is the ESRB rating. This is what franchise it's part of.
Here's
this
what
is,
platforms it's on.
Yeah.
Does
I
that
would
count
say-
as a
I would
review?
say that no, that doesn't count because it's not the person who wrote the reviews writing it.
Okay. Thank you, Judge Ian. So that means that.
I lost.
Let me see.
Sorry, Brandon.
That'll be 5.
I don't
If I
think
can
that.
make
I don't think that
Brandon
would have
win,
helped.
I'll
Ian.
change what
Ian,
I
I don't
said.
think that would have helped.
Okay.
So that'll become
I appreciate
9.
that.
So let me go back over what everyone bet last week. I bet 4. Did not get that. Ben in the Super Seat bet 6. Bloodworth bet 5.
Come on, Ben.
Brandon Jones bet 12. Oh
Come
my
on,
God.
Ben.
Within the 8 most recent reviews
Come on, Ben.
of Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, there are 9 mentions of the word franchise.
That makes it a tie.
So it's a tie.
Whoa!
Oh boy. Which means we have to do a tiebreaker.
We both get it.
You both get it?
We both win because the fact that we're giving our scores, our bets ahead of time.
Yeah.
And which I asked you before, I was like, well, that means that we could potentially bet the same thing.
Yeah,
And then
if-
you're like, well, then you'd both win.
Yeah, if we both bet 420, I think Judge Ian, what do we do here? So my idea was if we both bet 420, we would both get a point. However,
Right.
this is like a split.
Wait, so Brandon and the Super Seat would both get a point?
Both
Yeah.
Do it
Well,
like
here's the
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, here's my question.
Yeah.
Is the tiebreaker fun and interesting, or is it stupid Kyle annoying?
It's a little stupid, Kyle, annoying. It's the Thunderdome thing where we pick a category and they have to name a thing in that category back and forth until the first person F's up.
What if we do that and they both get a point?
Okay.
Just do it
No.
for fun.
Oh,
Okay.
God, no.
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
jeez.
So we're doing the category Thunderdome. Blood will choose the category, and then Huber, since you're points leader, you will go first. And then, so this is like animals. That's an example of a category. So Huber, you would say dog, cat, beaver.
Is there a time limit?
But don't use
There's
animals.
no time limit, but you can't
Takes
stall.
too long. Okay.
If you stall,
It'll be judges.
Judge Ian will say,
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
within like reasonable. Oh wait, I think I have a buzzer sound.
Okay, we're gonna see if we have a buzzer sound. Bloodworth, think of the category. Do you have one in mind?
I do have a buzzer. Oh, it's looping.
Okay, do not use the buzzer. Don't use the buzzer sound. It's too risky. All right, Blood, do you have a category?
Sure.
Okay, so once he says it, Huber, you have to go. Okay, Bloodworth, you have my okay.
Cities.
Los Angeles.
New York,
Phoenix.
Las Vegas.
No.
That's done. You're done. He cut you up.
You
Oh
both
my
get
God.
a point.
So how about this, Judge? Judge Ian, how about they both get a point, but Brandon gets to decide whether he wants to do
Yes,
the plug
yeah.
or close out the show.
No, Brandon gets the whole thing.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
I was gonna say
warehouse.
Nebraska.
Yeah, it sounds like, and then you're like, no, Huber, don't. And your brain was like pulling it back.
No, not Nebraska. You pull up, pull up.
All right, so let me go over the total points now. Super Seat has caught up to Bloodworth. Both have 6 points. Jones now has 2, and I am only 1 above Jones at
I'm above
3.
Oh no, you're one above. Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still in last place, but wow. Was
But
not
only by
expecting
1
that.
point, yeah.
Wow.
That's it's tight. I love this season. So now, Brandon Jones, because you won the category Thunderdome, you may close out the show and promote any video you would like.
I'm closing out the longest GT time, I think, in the history of GT time.
No, we've done way longer, but yeah, this is a long one. It's a good one because we got started by E3. You get us into E3, we're just gonna get off. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. I invite you to watch GT Live. I will always plug GT Live as long as we're doing it.
What is GT Live?
GT Live is our live show Wednesdays on twitch.tv/GameTrailers at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is on this stage.
I don't understand, Brandon. You're like always live on every day of the week.
But this is our live stream / talk show. So over there on that couch right over there. What's up?
It's a really big show.
It's a big show. It almost encompasses the entire GT staff. We have a special guest, which we do not do really on any other program here at GameTrailers. So we have a special guest that comes in. We talk to them. We play games at the same time. We do giveaways for people that ask really good questions in chat. And it is every Wednesday. And we have really cool guests. And we have lots of cool guests coming up. Got some voice actors coming in.
The giveaways are cool.
Episodes. Yeah.
Good games. New games.
Give away good codes. And the last episode, we played Shovel Knight. We gave away codes for Shovel Knight. And we had one of our best guests ever, Pamela Horton, the gamer next door from Playboy. So you can watch GT Live. I recommend it. Your Twitter is Michael P. Huber.
Yep. Nice.
Your Twitter is dbloodworth2. You can find me at GameTrailers VO, and you can find Kyle at Kyle Bosman on Twitter. And that's it.
What if I want to follow Ian Hink?
You can follow him at Ian Hank.
Okay. Yep.
If you wanted to, if you were so inclined.
What if
but
I
make
wanted
sure you
to
watch
follow
GT
Probe?
Live and then follow Ian Hank. Don't do it in the other order.
What if I really like Ultimate Angler? How would I follow Probe?
I don't. What was it? At Probe?
_ LTD.
Underscore. Well, Pro. Wait. So PROP.
Yeah. Yeah. Underscore LTD.
Underscore. Okay.
I'm sorry, I bungled it. You had
no, it's fine. No, it's good.
You know,
no, it's
you were
good.
just rolling right
I'm not going to win again for another 2 months,
and
but
thanks.
Thanks for just jumping in on my end there.
I'm so Brandon. I'm so sorry.
Oh
man.
God! And that is GT time. I almost called it GT Live. There's different GT shows. GT time is up and out. Thanks, everybody.
I love.